Hi, Pastor Mark again. The last time we were looking at God's mission and our place in it, what it means to be a missional Christian, a missional disciple of Jesus. And we saw that God is a God of love and that our mission is to bring that love to others from God through the power of the Holy Spirit working through us. What does that look like in practical day-to-day living? We know that part of it is sharing the gospel. But it isn't just about going out and converting people to Christianity. There's much more to love than that. And so, how does it work tomorrow, the next day, every day, and hour of our life? Love takes many practical ways. It's meeting whatever needs a person has, it's bringing whatever blessings we can bring to somebody. The book of 1 John has a lot to say about that, about being very practical about our love, about loving in physical, tangible, real ways. It's about treating others the way you would want to be treated. If you didn't have food and somebody had extra food, you would hope that they would share with you. That would be the loving thing to do. And so in some cases, it's just a matter of an obvious blessing others, sharing out of our own what we have for somebody else, sometimes even beyond what seems rational. All of us have a certain calling from God. And that calling is a calling that is lived out in love. It may be several callings. You may be called to be a lawyer. And as a lawyer, you want to serve justice. You want to do right for your clients. You want to enhance the order and livability of the society that you live in. You want to do a lot of good things as a lawyer. That's part of your calling. That's living out a life of love. You may be a mom or a dad, and as you pour your life into your children, of course, that is about love too. Wanting them to grow up to be people who will make the world a better place and who will enjoy the joys and the love and the peace of God as they do so. That's loving as well. You'll see all kinds of needs in the world. There is a sex trade that's going on nowadays. There is still starvation in many parts of the world. There are all kinds of injustices and cruelties that happen. There are prejudices and isms. There are environmental disasters. There are many things that we can pour ourselves into that are good for other people, that are all part of love. And different ones of us will be called in different ways to serve the world in love in whatever way God has called us. Some of us might go into politics. Some of us might become pastors. Some of us might be accountants or teachers or whatever it might be. But in the end, there is one aspect we cannot overlook. Jesus said, "What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul?" It's a rhetorical question, of course. And his point is that if you have big houses and lots of food and a fun, enjoyable life, but when your life comes to an end, you are separated from God and you are not going to go into his presence, that all of that other stuff will seem as nothing. And so we can do all kinds of things for other people, and we should, and we must. Tangible, real things, but if that's all we do for them, and we never share with them in a way that speaks to their heart as best we can, a message of how they can be reconciled to God through Jesus, we haven't really loved them. If you believe that people in and of themselves have fallen short of the glory of God and need the forgiveness that Christ won for us on the cross, if you believe that Jesus was who he said he was and did what he said he did, then to love anybody, we have to share that message with them. And if we love them, we don't just beat them over the head with it. We don't just give it to them in your face. "You're a sinner, repent." We seek to, as God did with us, woo them, to find a language, to find a way, to find a demonstration that helps warm them up to receptiveness to Jesus. We are patient with them. It may take 20, 30, 50 years to win somebody. But love never quits. Love never fails. And so if we really love people, we will have the passion that Jesus had to bring to them the gospel of eternal life, of reconciliation with God, so that God's love can come into their life and that they can let that love flow through them to others as well. We will want them to not simply gain the whole world, but to gain eternal life. That doesn't mean that all of the other things we do are simply so that we can convert them. If you have children, when you have children, you'll discover that you want your children to know God. And you will love your children. You will buy them things, you will take care of them, you will do fun things for them. You're not doing all those things for them simply so that they will become a Christian, simply so that they will be born again, simply so that they will find eternal life. Those things aren't simply means to an end. Those are ends in themselves because you love them. But because you love them, you want them to have more than that. You want them to have more than temporal blessings. You want them to have eternal blessings. And a mark of a true disciple of Jesus, being passionate about the things Jesus is passionate about, is loving others and looking at them and listening to them and getting to know them and befriending them and spending time with them. And all along you have this desire that won't go away, that they should know Jesus. And somehow that will play itself out. You may go years without saying anything to them, but they'll know who you are. They'll know what you believe. And if they know that you love them, if they know that you care, if they know that you're there, and if when the moment arises, you have a word for them in a timely manner, you will have an opportunity to bear that witness and see what God and the Holy Spirit does with it in their life. Heaven rejoices when someone is born again, and you will rejoice too. And it is God's desire that as part of your mission, whatever else that involves in loving people, He wants to use you, your personality, your temperament, your interests to reach others. I'm not the most loving person in the world by any means. I'm not touchy-feely, lovey sort of a guy. I'm not saying this because that's the kind of person I am. I'm saying this because that's what the Bible tells. And I want to be transformed into the kind of person Jesus was. And I want to fulfill His mission. So there's a lot of things I pour myself into. But every day, I want to wake up and say, Lord, let me be aware today of opportunities to serve You. As I am going about my day, help me to be aware of the people around me. There may be someone who I'm supposed to become friends with. There may be someone who I'm supposed to say one word or one sentence to. There may be someone who will become a part of my life in a redemptive way. I need to be aware of them and listen to them and caring about them. And that's not my comfort zone. That's not who I am in and of myself. That requires the Holy Spirit living in me. It requires waking up every morning, denying myself, taking up my cross and following Jesus, putting aside my own desires to be open to others in love. And sometimes you find that as you go, there aren't a lot of opportunities. And often in those times, what God says to you is, okay, now go. It's not happening here. You need to go somewhere else. You need to go seek out those people on the other side of town or on the other side of the world or wherever or however it might be. And we're ready to do that because we are here with a mission of love. And that love is not limited to eternal life, but it never, ever forgets about it. God bless you. And don't forget, every disciple of Jesus has a heart to be passionate about the same things that Jesus is passionate about.